So here is our maple syrup set up here on the stove. We have all of our stuff. So first we have boiled it all the way down out in the garage, and then you finish it on the stovetop. So we're getting super close. We have to keep checking it so that we don't scorch it. And it looks like maybe, let me look at this real quick. It actually might be done. I just checked it like a minute ago and it wasn't done. So we'll give it a couple minutes and then we'll try again. But I got the hydrometer, which is right here. This is for maple syrup. You have to have a maple syrup hydrometer or it won't read properly. You cannot have a brewery kit one. You can use a candy thermometer, they say, but it's not super accurate. So you really want to get the syrup hydrometer, not the sap one. The sap measures how much sugar to water the ratio is. This is a syrup, and then it tells you it's a Brix and Balm. So it tells you the Brix, and then on the other side it tells you the Balm, and you have certain levels that you're trying to obtain, and that means you're done. We have one batch here. This is our first batch, and it was sealed until this morning. I popped the lid and tasted it just to make sure. It was so good. And then we just do this little funnel here. Is for syrup making. You want to get the stainless steel. This is the measuring, I don't know what you call it, measuring, it's not a cup, but the measuring cylinder, I guess you'd say. So what you're going to do is, I'll show you actually real quick. So you don't have to use the funnel, but it's so much easier. And then we just use a ladle, and you just ladle a little bit at a time into here. And we've already strained this multiple times. So right now I'm not worried about straining it. We're just worried about reading the levels. But this little guy came with the, let me see how much we have in there. We need a little bit more. This strainer came with the funnel, and it's for syrup as well. And it really helps when you're doing transfers and you just want to sift it. We do a bigger, the cheesecloth method. There should be enough in there now. Cheesecloth method for the first couple strainings, and then we use the funnel. Let's see if it'll bob for us. Nope, but it seems like it almost is. It's standing up straight. I'm going to put a little more liquid in here. You want to do it when it's hot. So let me add a little tiny bit more liquid just to be sure that that's not the reason it's not bobbing. But if you put too much in, it will overflow, which is why we have the towel here and it's wet, because it is what it is. It's a sticky mess, but okay. So this is glass, so you just want to be really careful. You don't want to hit the sides if possible. So it's still sinking, and that means it's not ready yet. But we are super close, and if you don't watch it good enough, I'm just gonna dump this back in here. See, it doesn't take a lot. If you don't watch it close enough, it will scorch. So it's in there. See how little amount we have in there? That's gonna boil down probably a little bit more because it's not ready yet. And you want to do a little bit at a time. Once we get it inside to this stage, you don't want to do a whole pot inside, because as you can see, it blows up a lot. The condensation will just ruin your walls. I probably see some drips in the back there. I need to wipe it down. So this actually gives off a lot of steam, as you can see. But this is the setup we use, just a big pot. And you just want, there's only, a couple inches worth in there. And you want enough space to where it'll do a shallow boil. And then in the end, when we go to put it in a mason jar, we'll get a clean, dry mason jar like this one was. And then make sure that it's sanitized and all that good stuff. We've got some ready to go, just not sitting out here. I gotta grab one. We take this funnel back here and just put it right in, you know, set it right on there, put this right on top, and then you just pour the hot right into the jar. And then close it right away, tip it upside down, it'll seal. You'll hear it, usually you'll hear it pop or ping. This one we didn't hear it pop, so I wasn't sure it even sealed, but when we opened it this morning it did, it sealed. So, and then this is the tube. You'll want to keep this, is what the hydrometer comes in. This is going to keep it safe. And then this did come with a couple cleaners, so this is like for your funnel, and then this could be for, or this could be for your test tube, I guess you'd call it, I don't know. And then this would be for your funnel to get it, make sure it's clean. We haven't really used this yet. We've just kind of been sanitizing as we go, so it's not super sticky. So I'm going to rinse that and dry it out real good. But like if you rinse this in between, you want to make sure that there's no water in here, because that will affect how your hydrometer reads. And we don't clean it off in between. It works fine if you don't. But I try to just empty this out real good. Every once in a while I'll give it a good rinse out, and then I'll like tip it upside down to dry. But you want to make sure it's really, all of it does not have water, because that's going to affect your reading. But this is what we use. It's pretty simple for us once we get to this stage of the boiling. And in another video I'll show you our setup that we found. This is our first year doing it, so we're definitely not experts. If you have something that works well for you, leave a comment below. Let us know how you do things for your syrup and for your sap boiling. Like I said, we did hours and hours of boiling down in the garage because it's so cold outside. We started with a fire outside, and it was just like feeding it wood. And so we'll get into that setup here. I will post another video on that. And it tastes like syrup, so we're doing something right. So this, they say it's 40-to-1 ratio, so 40 gallons of sap will only yield 1 gallon of syrup. So if you have like 40 ounces of sap, you're going to get an ounce of syrup. Like, it really is a long boiling process. We don't have this turned all the way up on high. We just have it on, what do we have it on, 6, 5? We have it on like 5.5, I think. Oh, 5. We have it on 5. We started, you know, just to get it boiling, and then turned it down because you don't want to scorch it. It is ruined. If you start to get it to where it's crystallizing, you've scorched it and it's ruined. Throw it away. It's not gonna be good. And if it's not floating in here and reading, which the paper, there's a paper that comes with it, with the hydrometer on what you want. See there's all your levels. So we want it, which is at boiling, the 209 there, the highest. So you want it at 32, and 59 there is the bricks. So once it hits that on here, you're good to go. So see these red lines, it kind of made it dummy proof for you in a way. So like there's 59, and then there's the 32. So like really, if you keep it within those 2 red lines, you're good. So this thing is really, really good to have. You really should invest in one. It's called a hydrometer. You can get the set. I got all this on Amazon, and it's a little bit pricey, other than obviously the ladle. But I got all of this. The hydrometer comes with the directions, and the little cleaner guy, and then I got this guy separate. If you just type in maple syrup, what did I type in? Like maple syrup boiling or maple syrup making, all this stuff will pop up. You can kind of scroll through and figure out what you want to use. There is plastic ones like this, but I have had people tell me, and like reviews online tell me not to use those because they don't last as long and they can crack. This is high heat. You're dumping boiling hot liquid in there, so keep that in mind when you're purchasing your products. You want to try to do stainless steel, and you want to try to do, well, you have to do food grade, and then I believe this is stainless steel. It doesn't say, but I believe it's stainless steel. But you want to do this, the food grade steel if possible. And then, like I said, this little mesh guy came with this, so it fits right over. And if you choose not to get one with this, it's a little cheaper, but I'm telling you what, it's so worth it. This thing works really, really well. They say coffee filters works well, but you can't reuse them. This is reusable. We've washed this and used them multiple times. So I strongly advise getting the funnel that has this. It fits perfectly over top, and it works really well, and it catches everything. Now we do have to take a spoon or a knife or something as it's being poured into the glass jar, and you don't have to use, you know, like one of these jars. You can use whatever jar you want to store it in, but you do have to kind of like scrape as it's going in, just because it'll be like the thick buildup that it's catching will get in the way. So just keep that in mind when you're pouring it. Don't, you know, we try to do it as a team. It's just easier that way if you have somebody to help you. But this is our setup for the final stages of boiling. Like I said, if you have any techniques or ideas that you use that's different, or whatever works for you, leave us a comment below. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and like the video as well. Thanks, guys.